Hello friends, my name is RagePanda1 and today we're going to dive into the Eyes of the Abyss. But if we're going to do that, we're going to need 3 teams. And I would like to use 3 real teams instead of 1 good team and 2 teams with level 1 characters. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to organize my box and I need to figure out who I can actually put on a team without having to ascend anybody all of that much because we just really don't have that many materials for ascension. Now I think that we're going to try to get an extra star on this lady and we're going to see if we can make that happen, but we are hurting for some hunters for ascension materials. I imagine that our other teams might make it around level 200, but it ain't going any higher than that. So I'm going to figure out who I want to use and I'm going to show you how good they can possibly get. If we're going to make some teams, we're going to need some cash. So I've just reorganized my districts. I'm up to 65k a minute. And oh Lord, I'm about to bust some boxes. You know what? We doing it. We're just doing it, you know? Should I save some? Probably. Am I gonna? No. Not today. I'm here for fun, you know? And that's fun for me. And while we're doing our housekeeping, we did do another dungeon descent, and of course we bought all of the earrings that were 90% off. We got super unlucky with those, which is kind of my MO in this game. We only got, I think, 3 or 4 sections that we could buy from out of the possible 10. And yeah, we're gonna be busting them. We're gonna bust all this, getting a little closer and closer. You can see we have about 9,000 diamonds that we are eventually going to be using to get this lady as close to mythic as possible. Speaking of being unlucky, we have ourselves some summoning stones. Isn't that a treat? Now maybe since there's no other special banners going on for me right now, that's gonna really give me a whole lot of luck. That's definitely gonna happen, right? It's happening. Oh, it might be happening. It might actually be happening. That was a big number. Oh. But the big number was just for a couple of purples, I think. Oh, no, she's legendary. And 1 star. And disappointing. And then, you know, we're just going to keep the train rolling where when I summon things, I get stuff that's not super usable. Nothing that I wanted to get, put it that way. Well, okay, I guess a purple lionstone mail is good, except that, oh wait, I can literally make those. Alright, well, you know, that's a lot of colors that we're seeing that are not blue, so I can't complain about that. You know, we're looking at the bright side. And this is all ascension materials. I do have a female Karguk that I could get up a little higher. So, or I could get my male lionstone going. I could get that started up. All right. We're going to look on the bright side here. And why not? We'll pop the single stones. And that's garbage. And this is a purple? Bro, what is it with my account where mythics just don't exist? Well, I'm trying to ascend one of those a little farther anyway, so every little bit helps. If you thought that was the end of our attempts at luck, you would be incorrect because champion roulette is up. So we're going to go ahead and pick ourselves somebody super useful. That's not a lot of options. Well, I need more copies of the female because I have quite a bit of them already, so I can ascend her quite far, and I think that she's quite good. So, you know what? We're gonna try. We're gonna try it out. We're gonna get our free spin, we're gonna get the mythic version, everybody's gonna be happy. See, I told you. Hey, at least we got a copy. We're pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. Well, I think that I've mostly decided on my teams here. Ascension is just not very much an option for me right now. I may try to get this male ASN up a little bit farther because I have a ton of mages that I could be using, which is good. That's a good problem to have. Usually people are running low on mages. For me, it's everything else. But we are going to drop some levels again. We're going to use that old chestnut by reducing the level of our Griffin. He doesn't do that much damage to begin with because I have decided that I'm not going to take his Noble and Confident off because I don't plan on using him once I don't need to use him anymore. So he's just a tanky boy, and he's going to sit there being a tanky boy, and when he's a couple levels lower, we're going to be just fine. But with all of that gold, we should be able to max out everybody here just fine, and then we'll take one more look at Ascension and just see if maybe it's worth it to get one or two. You know, the thing is that I could be ascending this guy right now, but I'm already maxed out on level on my female, and I need her to be higher, not right now, but soon. So I think it might be a waste to do this ascension for this particular person. So I'm just not going to do it right now, even though I do eventually want to be running both Lion Stones. I gotta make the first one usable first. So keeping our priorities in check here. Alright, so this is the setup that I was going to go with. I've leveled up some true damage skills and percent health skills. Those are always fantastic, but I'm actually going to take him out of there and then swap him for her. I think she'll sustain a little better on that team, and she's going to help me do some of the most damage that I'll be able to do. And since her damage isn't going to scale that highly from the female Lionstone's ability, it doesn't matter that much if she's in that group or not. So I think I'm going to just let her chill down here, where she's going to get shields and a little bit of heal over time. And there's always the slight possibility that if she were to die, she could get resurrected, and that is going to be a huge thing as well. For longtime viewers of the channel, I mean, the channel's only been up for 3 weeks, but for longtime viewers of the channel, you may remember that this male Lume here has some pretty fantastic defensive traits. So he's going to be our second frontliner on that team, and we're going with the Orc Squad frontline over here. And I think it's going to be fine. So without further dudes, let's go ahead and get a challenge going. Make sure we turn on our actual abilities. That's important. When you're doing these Eyes of the Abyss things, the female Trevane is probably the single best champion that you can have on your squad because of her percent health. And then of course anything with true damage is going to bypass the fortitude, and that's going to be really helpful for you as well. Aside from that, bringing some sustain is obviously a great idea because all of the AoE damage that we're seeing going about here is going to hurt quite bad. So I feel like this team is going to sustain fairly well. We'll see how that works out in practice. Get these Lionstone shields going. We got one down, but we're going to go ahead and revive her right away so that she can instantly die again. But luckily our Trevane is seeing a little bit of survivability here. Up until now. Obviously I'm not going to be topping any leaderboards. I'm still not quite the top of the leaderboards on this server to begin with. We got a long way to go, but we got a lot of time to spend. Getting that true damage, absolutely crushing it. I gotta say, here's the thing that this is a pet peeve of mine. I know, I feel like I'm complaining a lot in this episode. I don't want to come off that way, but here it goes anyway. In games where they use these huge numbers, why don't they put the commas in there? Why don't you just put the commas in there so that it's incredibly easy to read? I want to look at it and instantly say, oh yeah, 30 million damage, that's cool. I don't want to sit there and count the numbers and put the commas in on my own. I feel like all of these games do that, and it's such a silly thing for them to do. The commas have meaning. All right, let's see what we get. What did we get? We barely hit the first reward. Nice, nice. But we don't really have... 15 billion is one of the goals. Well, we're not going to make it that far. But for server damage, hey, we we got 2 of them. I guess it just, well, it doesn't quite double every time, but man, it gets up there. I believe in you, server. We can do it. We ended up totaling 55.6 million damage with our 2 attempts, so our second attempt was a little lower, but that's okay. We have plenty of time to do more and more. As time goes on, it would be great to have female Travains for every team on there, as well as female Lion Stones, because I have the ability to craft those. Pretty soon my female Lion Stones will be mythic, and the only problem then is ascension, although it will be easier for the Lion Stones than for the Travains. And aside from that, I decided to just have a good old time with the game tonight. I stepped out of recording and I just cranked through some campaign. I completed all the way up to 14-1, and we are pretty happy. Pretty happy with it. I got my female Strixbane up to 7 stars. I tried to marry on some traits from some of my male Travain, and I just didn't get that lucky with it. Loyal is fine on her. Pureheart is fine on her. They both enhance what she's trying to do anyway, which is to just live a long time in the backlines. However, she really only does damage with her ultimate, and she does a lot of damage with her ultimate. But she needs something to enhance that a little bit. I feel like Agile would be really nice on her because then she can get there a little faster. And if she had Fierce and Brutal, she would really just be crushing when those ultimates came out. I will say that watching her play, she did a lot of great work by distracting people, and that is what I thought that she would be good for in the first place. We also got our female Travain up to 7 stars. Her traits are looking pretty good except for Bestial I want to get rid of. So we're very happy with that. And since this is a free-to-play update, I will just go ahead and show you that we still have $0 spent, although I gotta say, I really want to spend some money. I really do. I've just been getting a little bit shafted, and I want to overcome that with dollar bills. So we can see that we are 64 for might on the server. We are 41 in terms of campaign, and I could still push farther. I haven't reached my limits there yet. We are 35 for intimacy and 94 for districts. So you can see we're falling behind a little bit on our districts, but that might be because I did a little bit of messing around in here, and not everything is probably set up the way it should be. You can see we're missing a character here. He shouldn't be in there at all. There you go, we're doing a little better. We were at 65k before, we're all the way down to 59, so we need to get that back in order. All right, that was a quick, easy fix. We're back up to 67k a minute, so we actually gained a little bit. And does that move us up in the leaderboards at all? It moves us up to 64. So that is a little bit better. That's about what I expected to be at. I want to thank you for sticking through to the end of the video. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. We have reached over 100 subs now. In fact, we're over 125. And I just can't believe that in 3 weeks we've been able to come that far. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next one.